Hello and welcome back to FiddleUP. I'm Emerald Ray, and today we are going to learn Midnight on the Water. Now, this is not necessarily typically a beginner tune. This is one that I was kind of going, should I leave this for the intermediate course? But I kind of want to teach it the really basic version to you because it's such an amazing session tune. It's one of those tunes that even if you go to a different type of session that's not an old time session, somebody will know this tune. It's really kind of just everywhere. It's very ubiquitous. So it's so beautiful, and there's some really fun stuff that you can do to take it from a really beginner version to a really super advanced version, and we'll talk about that all the way at the end. But I wanted to give you just a very boiled down version, and bear with me here because I might change my mind in the moment. This is one of those tunes that is very like when you get it down, there's so much space because of all those long notes. There is so much space to add things. It's really hard not to. So I'm gonna try really hard to keep this simple for you. But sometimes my fingers run away with me. That's actually what happens when you get to intermediate advanced level, is these the bowings and the ornamentation and all that gets into your muscle memory, and then you can't take it out. So it's kind of like when I'm teaching step dancing, or anybody's teaching step dancing, it's actually really hard to do it slow because you use a lot more muscle to do this to do it slow. So I will do my best. So what I do want to teach you, want to get into a little bit of ornamentation here. In the ornamentation section, I have a video on the pulsing bow, and I would suggest you watch that, but I will take you through it here as well. And so the pulsing bow is just... So I'm doing a long bow, and then I'm giving it kind of a little push. And so we'll start off just doing one per bow. That's what I do in the pulsing bow video. So all you do is just take your first finger and push a little bit and just go a little harder, a little faster. So because this is a waltz, this is an old time tune, and it's a waltz, we're gonna go down, pull, pulse, pulse, up, pulse, pulse. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start off on it. This tune is in D major. So we're gonna go to our open D string and go up to an F sharp here. That's the second finger on the D string. So that's D, E, F sharp. So this tune is, this is why I was kind of wondering if I should save it for intermediate level, because it's definitely an advanced beginner tune. So if this is a little bit much for you, feel free to skip this one or save it till later. This is not as sort of blocky as the other ones. It's got a lot of really long notes and then some fast notes, which is not necessarily a problem. I think it's a great way for you to dive in and learn how to get your fingers moving fast. It's going to be nothing that we haven't done before, so there's no need to panic, but you will need to do some long notes and then all of a sudden move really fast. And if that's feeling awkward at this point, then maybe save this one for another day. But I wouldn't worry about it too much. Let's give it a try. So you have your F sharp here, second finger high 2 on your D string, and we're going to do that pulsing bow. So starting from the pickup. So let's try that again. So starting from the open D string, E, F sharp. And then from there, we'll just go up to the open A string. And adding a B on the top. And you can add a little trill if you want to get fancy. And you can check the ornamentation section for trills. If you've learned a few beginner tunes so far and you want to start adding some ornamentation, I would check out that ornamentation section and start dive in as soon as possible. Don't think I'm a beginner and I can't do this yet. Just start doing it. It's really just dive right into the deep end. It's never too early in my opinion. So let's try that again. And then going back to the open D string. So this is the part where there's like all of a sudden a bunch of stuff, but don't worry about it too much. So we have open D, E, F sharp. So I'm jumping up to my D string on the my D on the A string. So it's not actually that much. It's just compared to all those long notes, it's sudden. It's all relative. It suddenly feels fast. So we have open D, E, F sharp, and then jump up to the A string, your third finger on the A string. It's D, B, A. So that is all. So it might be good to sing that first. Da da dum dun da 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 dum da 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 da, so that you can get an idea of the shape. So because we have those big long notes and then it's suddenly a big splodge. So open D. Let's try that again. And then from there, we go back up to the F sharp again. So open D, E to F sharp, or open 1, 2, open A, and then 2, 1, 2, open. Okay, so all together it sounds like this. Let's take that a little slower. Okay, so let's start from the top of the A part. We're through it now. You're just going to repeat that for the A part. So let's try an open D and up to the F sharp here. And then we'll go down to the open D. Okay, so let's break that into some pieces, but I think we're gonna sing it first, actually. This is one of those ones that's a little bit easier to sing. So we're starting from our open D, da 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 da. Or if you need to sing it a little lower, which I might need to. It is the winter and the morning, and my vocal cords are now warmed up. Dum da da dun da 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 dun da 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 dun da 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 da. So there you go. It's not about singing nicely. Obviously, I am a professional singer, and I'm not singing very nice. right now. This is what you get for your subscription price. But, oh, sorry, some snow just fell off the roof. Yeah, it's all melting and coming down right now. But point is, it's not about sounding nice. It's just about matching the pitch and getting that into your body, your mind, and your soul. So let's try that again. So we're going to start off on the F sharp here, up to the F sharp. Open D. Try that again. Okay, so let's try that with a repeat, and we'll do it a little bit slower. All right, so let's move on to the B part now. The B part's a little bit longer and more complicated. And again, I will try to keep this simple. I might surprise myself, but I will try to keep myself in line with simplifying this tune. So we're going to go up to the D on the A string, third finger. So we'll do the same thing with these pulses, but what's going to happen now is there's going to be more fast notes. So it's not hard though. So here we have a little phrase. Okay, so that might sound scary, but it's not. It's just 3, 2, 1, open, 1, 2, 3, nice and easy. So these are all things we've done before. So we have D, F, D, C sharp, B, A, and then back up again. So we have a little pulse on the top. So we have a pulse on the top, and then a little up slur, and then I'll do separate bows from here. And then after that, we just go back up to the D, and then down to the B and A, F sharp, D. So that top phrase sounds like this. Okay, so let's add, just for fun, we'll do a little pickup just to get into it because it's kind of fun to do that. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but if you're feeling like you need a little something extra, do a nice big up slur. So open 1, 2, 3. And so now we're going to go up to the next phrase, which starts on the E string. So I did a little pickup note with a D string on my D on my A string, and then open E. So I'm going to do a little pulse on that E as well. and then down to the D on my A string, and then to the open E, and then I'm gonna do an F sharp to A, 1, 3, F sharp, open E. So that's. So that's E, 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 D, E, F sharp, A, F sharp, E, D. Or open E, 3, E, 1, 3, 1, E, 3. So we have. So we'll start that with the first phrase. So we're going to start with the pickup if you like, or you can just start on the D there. So what is actually hardest, I think, about a tune like this is actually holding those long notes for the right amount of time. I've never found with one of these tunes that one of my students was struggling with the little notes so much. It just feels like you're out in outer space with those long notes. So that is actually one good reason to put those pulses in. It's actually a neat little trick. So you're putting in this ornamentation, but it's actually helping you count out those beats. Because if I didn't put them in, you would probably be totally lost at this point, especially if I'm kind of speeding up and slowing down slightly. So if you're too scared to try the pulses, I would go ahead and try them, or at least try to count as you're going. 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3 and 1, that kind of thing. So it's counting out the rhythms. So it feels like you're going somewhere. Holding long notes is actually really tricky because you have to hold this long note with your body and then count with your mind, which is sometimes difficult to do things at the same time. So that's why that's so tricky. It's because it throws people off because you're thinking it's a nice, big, easy, long note. Why is that hard? It actually is. So let's start from the top of the B part so we know where we are. And then to the open E string. And then the next phrase is very similar to the first. And I lied. It's actually exactly the same, so that's nice and easy. And then all we have is the last phrase, which is exactly the same as the A part. So we made it. So that's very exciting. So we have the whole B part now. So let's start from that A, 1, 2, 3. Alrighty, so that is the whole B part right there. So let's try the whole tune together. So we're starting from. So we'll start there. And we'll do the A part twice and the B part once, I think. Well, I'll call out the repeats as we go so I don't get lost. So let's start from the top. Ready? And there you have it. That is Midnight on the Water, the sort of simple bare bones version. And so I actually like to repeat that B. A lot of people do that, just a fair warning if you're playing this in a session. Even though that B is twice as long as the A part, normally you would just leave it as it is, but that B part is just so pretty. It seems like a lot of people agree that it should go twice. So I tend to play that whole B again after that. This is a brilliant tune for sessions, for dances, all kinds of stuff. So if you learn this tune, get this tune down, you will use it all the time. I promise. It's one of those ones that's just everywhere. So let's talk about how to make this tune more exciting. So the first thing you're going to do to make it more exciting is throw some double stops in, which are really, really easy to do. If you're not just getting the tune down, then I would worry about that for now, but I would dive into the double stops as soon as possible just because they're so much fun and they're so easy to do on this tune. The second thing is taking some liberties with that melody, which you're going to be able to do if you really have the tune down and if you really have it in your head. So I would highly recommend singing this tune all the time, in the shower, while you're washing the dishes, while you're driving the car. Like, make sure you've got this tune really in your head. It'll really help with where those long notes go and how to start taking some playful artistic liberties with the actual tune. So let's start off with the double stops first. So I'm just doing my D and A together. That happens frequently when you're putting double stops in, that you're just gonna pick two strings and stick with them, and that's a lot of what we're gonna do with the double stops in this tune. So that's me taking a little bit of liberties with where the melody goes, where the notes go, and adding some ornamentation in there, a little trill here or there. So that says just a little third finger trill. So instead of throwing in a little trill. So that whole A part, just play both strings. That's and the trick with double stops is, what you want to do is where the melody is, you actually want to weight your bow more where the melody is. So I'm still playing as if I'm playing one string pressure-wise. I'm just allowing my string to be loosey-goosey in there. So when the melody is on the bottom string, I'm actually consciously putting more weight on the D string there. And then when it goes up to the A string, I'm putting more weight on the A string. It's very subtle, but I hope you can hear it a little bit. So if you play with that really slow, you can start to get a feel. It's something that actually happens very naturally if you're not thinking about it too much. So maybe if it's too much to think about, maybe just don't think about it. Just have it be in the room somewhere. So in the B part, so if you're gonna add a couple of trills here, that's great, but that part is just so anthemic. It's kind of nice to leave it on its own, and having that open D going gives you enough oomph. And then so going up to the top two strings, I'm just going to do the same thing that I did with my D and A with my A and E. So I'm just going to hang out on those two strings. So very similar. So once you've got those double stops down, I would go ahead and go crazy with coming up with some fun things to do and just kind of go into your sort of creative mind with what to do with that melody. It's actually really easy to do if you know the melody really well. So if you have this tune down really well, you can start to play around with, okay, maybe that note doesn't need to go exactly there. Maybe it can be moved over. And I don't like to talk about this stuff theoretically, because this is where the musicality comes in. And musicality is not necessarily easy to write down. You will find, fiddle books and all kinds of transcriptions that are like authentic transcriptions of stuff like this. And they look like a crazy concerto with all kinds of stuff. It's like too much for the page. Do you know what I mean? It's just one of those things you have to feel out. And you do not, I repeat, you do not need a musical degree to figure this stuff out. It's very natural and very easy to do. So I would start with singing the tune if you're struggling to get out of that basic bare bones version that we learned in the beginning. And you want to make it more exciting, sing the tune, because that will give you some freedom to wiggle around within the music. And then you can kind of take it back to the fiddle and go, okay, so how do I do what I just sang? How do I do that on the fiddle? So let's move. So moving from very, very quickly, because I wanna get this in. So moving very quickly into how to do an advanced version of this tune. This is not necessarily advanced. If you're trying to do the intermediate version, I would definitely try this as well. So what I'm gonna do is put my fiddle into two different tunings. I'm gonna do this very quickly. So I'm gonna take my D string and move it all the way down to the D. So make sure you have done a little research on how to do this properly before you get started. If you're scared of your pegs, maybe just go really slow. But I'm going to take my G string all the way down to the D, so we have an octave on the bottom. So I would get a good grip on the fiddle and slide the G down to the point where it's at an octave below the D string. So definitely be plucking the D string so you can hear that, and I'll show you what that sounds like. So do you hear that's at the D now? Just gonna wiggle that in. So I'm gonna start there and show you what to do there. This is the easiest one to do because this is just your hum on the bottom. So you can go ahead and play the tune. And and just ring this low D out on the bottom, and it's so exciting to do. It's a little flabby down You will notice that if you put a normal amount of pressure on that string, it's going to start wailing and getting out of tune. That's totally normal. So you want to be very gentle with this string. So instead of doing my double steps at the top with the A, I'm going to do it with my big low D on the bottom now. Sorry. When you tune one string, the rest of it goes out of tune. I was pushing too hard there. I got a little all over the... I'm doing this very quickly. So what this is going to do is add some mystique to your tune. I mean, that's such an unusual sound there. Even for cross tuning, this one is just a really fun one to do, having that low D on the bottom. It's going to make your entire fiddle open up and sound different. The timbre is going to be very different, and you're going to notice a lot of different things. So you can take that whole tune, the B part included. There we go. I'm trying to do this quickly. So that's what you can do just with the low D. Or one more, if you want to take it all the way up, we're going to take the E string down, one whole step down to the D. So this is not going very far. So I'm going to get it roughly there with my pegs. And then, so I now have 3 Ds. I have D on all the way bottom. Oh, I love this tuning so much. It's so satisfying. It's probably my favorite open tuning. I have that fiddle over there. I have in GD all the time. This is just probably my favorite. If I could manage to play just in D all the time, I would totally have a D fiddle as well. So this is going to change your fingering for the B part now, because your top string is different. So you're gonna have to shuffle around, and I'll show you a little bit of what that looks like. So we have, it sounds the same, but even more for the A part. But for the B part is where this tuning really shines. So I'll show you. That's strange and unusual. So what's happening when I go up to the E string, I no longer have an E string, so I have to put my first finger in. And see how different that sounds? It doesn't sound like an open A and E string anymore. It sounds completely different. It just sounds, what is happening is the timbre is different. So it just sounds really kind of alien if you're only used to playing in standard tuning. So if you see what's happening up on the E string there, I'm just moving everything up. So I'm actually getting up to my 4th finger. So I won't go through that all piece by piece, but you kind of get the idea. If you know this tune already, it'll be easy to figure that out. So that is Midnight on the Water all the way through to advanced level. So I hope you enjoy this tune as much as I do. It's really, really beautiful. I hope you give it a shot, and I will see you in the next video.